The white dog reacts immediately, and the judge asks the girl if she wants a brief break. But the girl and the dog make an incredible team, and the entire courtroom holds its breath as she speaks. As she talks, the room is tense and noisy, and little Cecilia is nervous. Her parents are behind her, and she tries to breathe slowly. She still doesn't know why she was summoned. She only knew that it all started 2 weeks ago, on the day she came face to face with a stranger who invited her to climb into his black van. He had puppies on board, and although the prospect of petting puppies delighted her, Cecilia knew she couldn't accept the stranger's offer. Her parents had warned her several times never to follow a stranger. When the man tried to grab her, still, a bystander intervened by shouting so loudly that the stranger closed the door of his van and sped away. On that same day, her parents explained to her what surveillance cameras were and how they were crucial in helping the police find the van's stranger. It seemed that she wasn't a girl whom he invited aboard, but one of the first ones to escape his clutches unharmed, and now people wanted her to tell her encounter in court, where a man with a hammer in hand would decide how many years the stranger would spend in prison. Now, in the solemn courtroom, Cecilia stands before the judge with her small body barely visible above the stand. The atmosphere is tense, charged with anticipation, with her testimony. As she steps onto the stand, the eyes of the court fix on her. She can feel the gaze of the adults, some curious, others nervous. But none like she's used to. Lost in a sea of adult faces, little Cecilia can't shake the overwhelming feeling of being out of place, a mere child caught in the complexities of the adult world. To be honest, she doesn't even understand why a man with puppies in his van should go to prison. The reality of the courtroom is much more confusing than she imagined. She's just a child and isn't prepared for the scrutiny of the general arena, where every word carries significant weight. The clash between her innocence and the harsh reality of the situation in the room is intense. Despite feeling uncomfortable, she finds the strength to recount the events. Her mother and father had told her the stranger was bad, and she believed them. They were adults and knew what they were doing, although she herself didn't understand why there was so much fuss. To be honest, the adults crying at the back of the room were more than unsettling. A man whom her parents called her lawyer told her to focus on the judge and ignore everyone else while speaking, but in the midst of her narrative, she saw a familiar figure that undermined her confidence in the midst of the legal process. Cecilia's anxiety had clouded her mind, making her overlook the fact that the man who tried to grab her was present, now standing on the witness stand. Her eyes scan the room, and a sudden understanding hits her like lightning. There, before her, is the same person who offered to show her his puppies. The weight of the moment falls upon her small shoulders, and a wave of guilt seizes her heart. She really wanted to send that man to prison. Time seems to slow down as Cecilia's eyes lock with the man's. His presence is at the very least unsettling. Her guilt morphs into a paralyzing force that leaves her stuck in the midst of her own vulnerability, a moment of tension. But just as she's about to give up, wishing she could magically teleport back to her cozy room, something unexpected happens. The silence is interrupted as the heavy doors of the room creak open. A muffled gasp ripples through the room, and all eyes turn to the unexpected entrance. There's silence in the room as a majestic figure enters, capturing the attention of all present. The newcomer isn't an ordinary visitor. It's a dog walking with determination. The room, which is typically a space of order and regulation, witnesses an unexpected disruption as the dog's entrance prompts a momentary pause in proceedings, creating a shift in the atmosphere. The judge, the jury members, and the spectators redirect their attention to this unexpected guest, questioning what prompted this intrusion. The friendly dog heads straight to Cecilia. Amidst the tension, the dog exudes an aura of calmness and tranquility. It's as if the universe has orchestrated this interruption to offer a respite to the overwhelmed girl, who was on the brink of surrender. The dog, a white boxer named Fernando, joins Cecilia. Their eyes meet, and it seems they understand each other. Cecilia, initially paralyzed by fear, feels a wave of confidence as Fernando snuggles up beside her. The dog's large stature and comforting presence create a shield that makes her feel safe in the daunting environment of the courtroom. In that moment, as she timidly strokes Fernando's body, a bond forms between them, a tacit pact that she isn't alone in her fight for justice. The unexpected visitor in the courtroom wasn't just an ordinary dog but a therapy dog trained to assist children in juvenile courts. However, Fernando had a condition that made him much more special than any ordinary therapy dog: he was deaf. But this wasn't a limitation. He was a 5-year-old white boxer trained in American Sign Language, not for adults, but specifically for children like Cecilia who were testifying in difficult cases. Fernando was part of the Companion for Courage campaign, a program that brought canine circuit dogs into courtrooms to support young witnesses. These dogs were unique as they provided a sense of protection and comfort to children facing the challenges of the judicial system. When Cecilia decided to testify, it became clear that Fernando's uniqueness went beyond his role as a therapy dog. His deafness was a crucial advantage in his work, setting him apart from others. Fernando couldn't react to the noises of the room, which allowed him to maintain unwavering concentration and comfort her and support her. His deafness wasn't a limitation but rather a strength that allowed him to perform his role with exceptional sensitivity. Training Fernando to become a therapy dog wasn't an easy task. Paulina, Fernando's dedicated trainer, had previously helped 3 boxers become therapy dogs, but Fernando presented a unique challenge. He was Paulina's first deaf student, and his historic training required a completely different approach. Undeterred by this unconventional challenge, Paulina seized the opportunity to train Fernando so he could harness his unique qualities. She saw that his inability to hear commands could become an advantage. Fernando's training became a journey of creativity and adaptation, in which Paulina put her experience as a canine educator to the test. In the training process, Paulina devised a creative solution to overcome the communication gap caused by his deafness, recognizing the need for a specialized approach. She decided to teach Fernando American Sign Language. Through this visual language, Paulina could effectively convey commands to Fernando, allowing him to understand and respond specifically. The boxer had found his purpose in life, and she couldn't be prouder of him. Initially, because his life journey began with great uncertainty, animated over his head. It all started with a call that Paulina received from a breeder a long time ago. The breeder was dealing with a deaf puppy of only 3 weeks old and was in distress, not knowing what to do with a deaf puppy. They considered the drastic measure of euthanizing Fernando. However, a change of heart led them to remember Paulina, a compassionate lover of previously rescued dogs. Witnessing Paulina's commitment to the well-being of dogs, the breeder decided to contact her instead of taking such a drastic measure. When Paulina received the call, informing her of the breeder's initial interactions of practicing euthanasia on Fernando due to his deafness, she was deeply saddened, unable to imagine a tragic outcome under her watch. She quickly decided to adopt the puppy. She believed that Fernando's deafness was not a reason to end his life. Instead, she saw the opportunity to give him a purpose. Integrated into the K9 program, where his unique qualities could have a positive impact. With the support of a behavioralist friend, Paulina embarked on the journey of teaching Fernando. From a very young age, she chose to teach him American Sign Language, a decision influenced by her involvement in the National Academy for the Deaf. Despite Fernando's deafness, Paulina believed in his capacity for learning and adaptation. The training sessions passed, a collaborative effort, and Paulina and Fernando formed a bond based on trust and understanding. Over time, Fernando began to show signs of functionality despite his condition. His intelligence and willingness to learn became evident, and Paulina saw glimpses of something truly special in him. Little by little, Fernando mastered American Sign Language, demonstrating an impressive capability. His command of communication in American Sign Language grew to an astonishing repertoire of over 100 signs, a testament to his intelligence and Paulina's lead-driven guidance. Fernando's journey went beyond mere training. He proved to be exceptional with children. His visits to the academy revealed a deep connection with children with special needs, attracting those with disabilities like him. The reassuring effect Fernando had on the children became evident, and his presence brought a sense of comfort and joy to those who needed it most. While all therapy dogs receive special training and must be registered in a therapy dog group, not all are suited to the specific specifications in a courtroom. To be a functional therapy dog in a courtroom, dogs need to demonstrate extraordinary resilience and adaptability. They must handle an environment filled with noises and numerous activities, maintaining composure and concentration throughout the process. These dogs faced considerable challenges that set them apart from their peers. In Fernando's case, his deafness turned out to be a surprising advantage for the job. A typical courtroom environment, often filled with noises and unpredictable distractions, didn't pose a threat to Fernando's concentration. Undisturbed by the interference of the tumult, his ability to remain calm and attentive became a clear advantage. Furthermore, Fernando's large stature added another factor to his suitability for the role. His size gave him a reassuring presence that set him apart among therapy dogs, making him an ideal candidate for the demanding work in the courtroom. Fernando's attributes were especially crucial in Cecilia's case. When Fernando displayed his affectionate and friendly behavior, Cecilia experienced a new sense of security. In moments of discomfort, Fernando would gently place his paws on her, looking as if he wanted to convey a silent message, encouraging her and assuring her that she was doing well and that everything would be okay. Midway through Cecilia's testimony, the judge, initially considering the possibility of interrupting the proceedings to allow her a break, however, with the dog's entrance, his perspective shifted. With Fernando by her side as emotional support, Cecilia gathered the courage to detail her testimony. Then came the time to answer the questions from the lawyer of the stranger. Cecilia had been prepared by her own lawyer, but when the man asked her if she was really hiding that the stranger in the van was a bad person, she was left speechless. Her parents had explained to her that the man was lying. By talking about puppies, he just wanted her to get into the van to take her away forever. That's why the other adults in the room were crying. Their children had gotten into the van without hesitation, excited about the idea of petting some cute puppies and never coming back. She didn't know where the stranger had taken them, and she wasn't sure she wanted to know. Something inside her said it was a really scary place. When the lawyer pressured her, little Cecilia was paralyzed. She was old enough to understand what the prison meant and didn't want the stranger to end up there, but she also understood that the safety of other children depended on her. She just needed to find the courage to tell the lawyer that his client was a liar and that made him bad, but she didn't have that much courage. The stranger, as well as his lawyer, looked at her as if they expected her to slip up while speaking, and she was afraid. In a moment of vulnerability, she quickly turned to Fernando for help, who responded by sitting next to her. She had only seen the dog once and knew that his presence would provide her with the comfort and security she needed to face the daunting task ahead. As the dog reacted and placed his front paws on Cecilia's knees, the judge cleared his throat. Cecilia's parents made the courtroom a solemn place, where playfulness was not allowed, and she was worried about having annoyed the judge with her request for help. She turned to look at him, and he watched with a gentle smile. "If you need more time to think, we can take a break," he said. Around her, silence fell as everyone waited for her response. Cecilia would have loved a break, but she also knew that if she stopped now, this ordeal would drag on much longer than she could bear. So she nodded as she ran her fingers through Fernando's fur, drawing strength from the connection. The young girl dared to speak the truth with Fernando by her side, testified with newfound strength, and overcame all scrutiny effortlessly. The room, once filled with tension and uncertainty, witnessed a moment of transformation. Cecilia's resilience, coupled with Fernando's comforting presence, led to a major breakthrough in the fight for justice. It reached its peak when the man who had harmed her was found guilty and sentenced. Cecilia's case was just one of the cases where Fernando exhibited his remarkable supportive attributes in juvenile courts. Other children like Cecilia believed they had a secret code with Fernando. This special bond allowed them to call him close, providing them with a source of solace and tranquility. Fernando's presence saved the day in many cases. That's why therapy dogs in courts are highly recommended, especially for young victims who need to testify. Everyone expected Fernando to receive praise from his owner, but no one expected what happened immediately after the trial. Fernando's, Cecilia's, and his extraordinary support for the girl spread like wildfire on the internet, reaching millions of people worldwide. The touching story resonated deeply with people around the world, and Fernando's spotlight became known. The K9 Circuit program showcased the positive impact of therapy dogs with Fernando, providing comfort and support to children during trials, becoming a highly celebrated concept. After the trials, Fernando continued to play his invaluable role, offering ongoing support to the children. Contrary to expectations, he didn't fade into the background after the legal proceedings. He continued to be a constant presence in these young people's lives, extending his support beyond the courtroom. Allied with the worldwide recognition he received, Fernando continued his journey through life, faithfully fulfilling his role as a therapy dog. His disability didn't stop him from offering comfort and companionship. He faced each day with the same dedication, demonstrating that even with limitations, it's possible to have a profound impact. As Fernando and Cecilia's story spread across the internet, the focus wasn't just on them but on the entire therapy team, each with their own qualities and contributions. The collective impact of these dogs highlighted the importance of therapy dogs in various settings, not just in courts. Suddenly, thousands of people around the world began to request therapy dogs in all sectors, firmly believing in their credibility. New training programs were initiated, and many more dogs, needing a purpose in life, found themselves offering comfort to adults and children. As the programs thrived over the years, the number of therapy dogs increased, allowing them to reach and help more people than ever before. Fernando, being one of the pioneers, paved the way for other programs across the country to assist children who had testified. His impact resonated far beyond the bounds of a single courtroom, becoming a beacon for other communities seeking to initiate similar initiatives. In a profound sense, triumph over justice was possible largely thanks to a therapy dog named Fernando. His presence, along with the collective efforts of the therapy dog program, became a symbol of resilience, support, and justice for those who need it most. What a touching story! Have you ever found comfort and support in a pet? Share your experiences with us in the comments section. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe to our channel, leave your like, activate our notifications, and share our videos. Thank you for watching, and until the next video. God bless you.